And we are back already. Team Liquid going up against Fnatic, and we are going to head into our first match. It was actually not even a technical difficulty. It was one of the players that needed a slightly different setup, and of course we want to make sure that the players can play under the ideal circumstances here. So it is exactly what's going to happen for such an important series. Whoever takes it here will advance to the next round. We already had, of course, 2 teams out of Group A qualify here today, but this is going to be the first team to advance out of Group B, and it is going to be an exciting series.
Absolutely, and the rosters here between these 2 teams, Fnatic, we're going to have Smexy Style on the Karazim. Breeze, the captain there, will be playing the ETC. Quacknix will be on that gray main once more. Schwimpy will be on the Falstad, and Athera Angel will be on the Tyrael.
And for Team Liquid, Sonya, played by Lowell. We have Reyna, played by Chris. Get Amherd on Rega, Juve on Muradin, and Thrall is played by Shad. Well, Chris Solo is game number 1 here, our first map in the best of 3 series, and starting to the left side. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fnatic! And starting to the right side of the map, now we need some support here, especially since we have a Polish player in the team. It is Team Liquid!
Right out the gates, if we look at the talents a little bit early the game, Rhaegar once more going with that totem-style build. Shot of Fury going to be on the Sonya. That's not really that interesting. It's a little bit diverse depending on the regions, but Shot of Fury is kind of the comfort when it does come to the EU playstyle and Sonya. So both these teams, again, talking about the early game scaling, as long as the CC's chain for Team Liquid, I think they have the early game advantage, but it's not by a large margin, and as the game goes on, I feel like they definitely struggle in the later half of the map.
Yeah, it will definitely depend on how much Fnatic can really secure themselves a good position in the early game and not fall victim to those potential roams that we're seeing for Team Liquid. The cool thing here for me personally is that we have Tyrael played by Athera Angel, and we actually talked about that a little bit, and you could just repeat that because that was actually pretty beautiful.
We got into the situation where we even considered, I blatantly said that I think at BlizzCon, Athera Angel was the best Tyrael in the world. He had absurd amount of use, like with that holy ground we've been talking about so much here. He uses that better than almost every Tyrael in the game. He kind of baits his positioning, makes you forget that he's used his Q, and then proc zone it, and then you're just like, well, I'm dead now. So it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be able to play this out here. But a 1-1-3 going to be picked up as the choice on the side of Team Liquid here, and they give up all their advantage in the mid lane here. I feel like they're playing a little bit, this laning phase a little bit too passive.
Yeah, I mean, considering that they're the ones that really have that early game chain, they are currently losing the first tower, and of course giving up a bit of experience that can be important for a tribute fight. If Fnatic is able to pull the same thing on another lane, then they will have the early level 4, which could translate into that first tribute here for them right away. So that's definitely going to be something that they have to watch now. Yeah,
one of the worst case scenarios on this map for most situations and comps is running a 2-1-2, which you saw on the side of Liquid. Now sending Rhaegar to respond to the middle lane here. Top lane's going to be almost dead even. Mid lane, they're now responding. Half the wall's already taken out, so they're only going to lose a turret's worth of XP. But honestly, I feel like Liquid, if they had tri-laid in response on the bottom half of the map, they actually would have outpushed Fnatic.
At this time, it really feels like it is actually Fnatic calling the shots here. They are making the plays, and Team Liquid is certainly reacting to what we thought with them being really putting on the initiative.
Yeah, it definitely shows that they have maybe regained some composure. Also, deciding to go with the Knights there, understanding ETC with the aggressive rotation, trying to zone off the Giants. They end up going for that early phase on the Tribute. Most teams like to capture the Merc camps, and they end up going with Knights over Giants. And usually, most teams I see go for the Giants instead. So really well done, getting a little bit of mix-up there, making sure that they aren't predictable.
We already have another tower being picked off at the bot lane, where we again saw Fnatic rotate over immediately, and they take that lead in experience with the tribute currently up at the top. But Fnatic isn't even reacting to that. They're actually, so far, looks like they're letting the top slide. Now Greymane starts to rotate over. Falstad stays at the bottom. Reyna is there as well, but they let this one go. They don't fly in, they don't contest it. They just say, we have to take care of the camp in the middle. So if we actually waste time at the tribute for too long, this camp is going to get too much value for Team Liquid.
That was the value of the timing of the camp, and also Muradin was doing a really good job of dismounting the transitions on the side of Fnatic. But at the same, I feel like Tyrael could have at least gotten one free delay. It wouldn't have been necessarily that beneficial of a play, but it seems like they played maybe a little bit too passive in that type of situation. Schwimpy getting a really good barrel roll out of there. You see Lowell, again, timing Mercamp. Again, Fnatic doing the exact same in response. Both of them looking to get the timing. The idea is split pushing when the map objective's up.
And Fnatic actually started, or Team Liquid started to become a little bit more aggressive, at least with that Muradin, trying to jump in on Falset, who immediately moved out. Athera up at the top lane has still to deal with Thrall, who of course is a huge lane bully, and that is currently something that Tyrael is experiencing here. The teams are both starting to head into level 7, with Fnatic taking a slight lead here still, but so far the team's still a bit passive despite, well, of course, when we have these tower pushes, disregarding those for a second, when it comes to team fights itself, they're still not willing to really commit to a big one.
And it's, depending on where the tribute actually spawns, okay, it's going to go on the lower half of the map. So Thrall is actually clearing out those giants, and so he's going to be very late in rotation. So Team Liquid is going to have a very slow rotation here. Also, Fnatic is actually responding, so it'll be a 4 versus 4 down here. See how well they played out. And again, the zoning, okay, they do get the delay there. Honestly, Team Liquid is being very aggressive with their zoning, and it shows in their play, but I don't know if, I feel like Fnatic's giving them more than they get, like they should.
Yeah, Fnatic at this point is also have to be careful, because suddenly Forza is the one that's being attacked here. Shrimpy is just barely getting away as Breeze is trying to shield him. Zones with the ETC and create some space. That tribute is still up though, and as you already said, I totally agree. Fnatic has to push for those tributes a bit more. They can't just simply give the second one up and risk a curse.
Yeah, they don't necessarily have the best of early game, but at the same time, if their opponents just miss one of the CCs and or stack them at any time, I feel like they gain the advantage here. Tyrael now making the rotation here. This will be a 5 versus 4.
Yeah, and Thrall is not there just yet. Muradin needs to be careful. In comes Breeze, he goes for it, and the kill. The first kill here immediately against Muradin. At 4 versus 5, they go for a gun and take him down to a double kill for Fnatic. Well played here, secures them not only the experience lead, but also the tribute. And that was just a beautiful rotation there as well. Thrall reacting a little bit too late of what we've seen here on the side of Tyrael himself.
Yeah, I would like to say though that Lowo on Team Liquid has done a very good job of responding, trying to min-max the XP, understanding, cutting your losses essentially when his team gives up. That's actually a mistake that a lot of mid-tier teams play, yeah. So it shows that Liquid understands what they need to do, capitalizing on all small advantages that they possibly can. Fnatic now almost sitting an entire level advantage over their opponents. That's going to translate to the second tribute, the next tribute spawning, which is, we have no idea where it's actually going to spawn since we have one top and bot. So at this point, the next tribute 100% going to be in the favor of Fnatic, because Liquid will not be 10th.
No piercing world, by the way, on the side of Muradin, and we've actually talked about this a bit yesterday. After the changes to Avatar and the cooldown reduction that we already have here, that battle momentum is going to allow Muradin just to go in these fights, get value out of every single right click that he hits, and get that Avatar up so much faster. We already have a commitment up at the top here for one of the bosses very early in the game, and it's actually Team Liquid that doesn't have level 10. If Fnatic sees this, they can go in, chase them away, and could theoretically even take over and try to claim it with the earlier heroic ability that they have.
And tribute spawning in the upper half of the map only ensures the fact that the boss is not going to be a threat on the side of Team Liquid here. This will be their pickup. Falset even making kind of a pseudo rotation here, trying to figure out, make sure if he needs to be with his team, he will be able to do so. But Liquid understands this is not their fight right now. They're going to back out, get the Giants, and try and get the split push. But this level lead, if the next tribute goes in favor of Fnatic, this is going to snowball this one level lead into, honestly, one tribute this early in the game with how big of an advantage they already have. If they win the fight and get the curse, it's going to be, honestly, a 2.5 level lead. It's going to be to the point where it's very, very difficult to come back.
And right now, Fnatic, they had the early level 10. The only thing that they really did with it, they were not willing to risk going for a boss and maybe losing out on that or losing experience on lane. They were just like trying to go for a few of the structures, especially up at the top, secure themselves a bit of that lead and push structures down here. But as you already said, that next tribute is going to be crucial for Team Liquid. If they are not able to secure it and Fnatic curses them, they can basically dominate the map for the next few minutes.
And it's one of those situations where it's worst case, right? Because if that is what is going to happen between these two teams, after that they still need 2 tributes to stand a chance here, but a really heavy engage already. Palm coming out, nice. And actually getting propped.
Nice Palm, it dies after all. They proc the Palm, but they're not afraid of doing so. They burst him down afterwards. Smexy jumps out once again, but it's still a 5 versus 4 situation, and the tribute is on the map. Falset soaking experience at the bottom right now, and the rest of the team is trying to interrupt for as long as possible so they at least get value of Falset staying at the bot lane.
That was a situation where you say, wow, that was one pick, and wow, that was a tribute, but that meant the world to Liquid. If they lost that, like I said, that was going to be a situation where they fell so far behind that it's almost impossible to come back with the style of composition that they have. So that was really well done. Their Fnatic getting a little bit overconfident there, knowing that their Falset's down there, but maybe Lowell getting a little bit too confident in the upper half as well, trying to get the spin to win out. He is gonna, but oh, Rhaegar getting caught out in the mid lane. The ward coming down, that's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, Shrimpy's already there, and here's the Gust slowing him down. He Ancestrals himself, but everybody else is jumping for him too, and Breeze gonna have his cooldown ready once again. There's the kill that they need, and they're so close to level 13 as well. Having Falset at the bot lane gave them so so much experience here. And Team Liquid, even with them picking up that one tribute, is now suddenly starting to fall far, far behind once again and even miss out on that 13 talent.
Yeah, so the 13 talent here is honestly one of the least influential post-10 in the entire game, but it's still one to be considered when this next shrine is going to spawn. We will see that Liquid will not have the ability to hit that talent, and there isn't any major 13 going to be in the side, maybe Giant, depending on what they decide to build into. But the tribute spawning also positionally in favor of Fnatic, so this is going to be a curse of almost 100% here. And Raynor saying in the upper half, they're going to be giving this up. What they're going to do with this curse is really important. What I'd like to see them do is not team fight. It's a mistake a lot of teams make here when it comes to curse hollow. They get the curse and they don't, or they take the fight.
Beautiful. They go for low. They see the chance. They jump in. They go for it. But there comes in the last moment. Once again, the Gust trying to slow them down. They didn't really do too much. We saw, of course, Thrall throw down that Sundering. One of the reasons why we had that proc. But now we have the fly up to the top. Experience soak again. The fort is down. And now they could still rotate to one of the bosses as long as they have vision over where exactly Team Liquid is positioned. But Gust is in cooldown.
Yeah, and expect in this type of situation, Rhaegar is soaking the bottom half when you are for Team Liquid. Also, because that fort's down and the curse is up and they don't have a good wave clear in the bottom half, it provides a lot of push and extra soak that they're probably going to have to meet after the curse, which typically, if you're on Fnatic side, leads to a boss. But they instead posture on the upper half of the map, abusing Fog of War, trying to get a big gank here on the Thrall.
Yeah, and right now, Shrimpy already being in exactly that position. They go for Thrall right now from the side. We have Shrimpy moving in. Here comes the Gust for the slow, and they go in. Quantix is already there. There's the kill. Thrall is down, and that's 4 kills against 1, and also another 4 that is going to fall. Tyrael is in a bit of a pickle. There needs to be careful. There's Muradin to consider as well, but he gets out of the situation. Muradin not trying to commit. They know that the rotation from the top lane could be there instantaneously and force them once again into a team fight that they just don't want to take.
There is not a single fort down on the side of Team Liquid. They're 2 levels down, and I would argue their composition was really early game dependent here and how well they were going to be able to play it out. This is going to be very hard. If Fnatic's not, or excuse me, if Liquid's not able to force a fight before their opponents hit 16 here, you see Muradin trying to get something happen here. But honestly, if they don't make this happen, there's a long period of time. Even if they get the curse, they can't do anything with it, right? They're just going to force the fight and go, well, okay, congratulations, you just wasted 3 tributes, which is way more than a turn-in on most maps that have that. It is very difficult for Liquid to make a play here.
Absolutely, and especially since we talked in the early game already about the level 16 on Tyrael. It's going to give them so much value in these situations. Up at the top, the boss being attacked, but Tyrael is still at the bottom. He's starting to rotate over. They're trying to go for this. We have the cooldowns all off. They could go for the Gust here, but they're being attacked immediately. Palm has already been triggered. Breeze is moving back here, and they're trying to move in from the side. Can Shrimpy go for a Gust? Here he comes, but no, they can't really go for it. This position is not strong enough. Hey, the heal on Juve. He jumps in deep once again, going for Shrimpy. Gust is still ready. They can go for the kills. They have the level 60 now as well. And Fnatic is once again trying to turn it around, but the boss is of course pushing the top lane. 3 heroes on the run, but up to the top. Shed is isolated from the rest of the team. Smexy wants to jump in. Shrimpy is there. Shed is trying to go for the counter kill. Breeze shields him. They take him down. And level 60 now, a 2-level lead for Fnatic, and once again a numeric advantage on the map.
That was one of the situations where Team Liquid understood that they needed that fight, and they baited the boss to get it. And honestly, they won. They played that almost perfectly up until they got that false sense of hope, right? They're like, man, guys, we just got the boss. Like, we're actually in a winning situation. They move out a little bit too far. Tyrael makes the rotation, and then all of a sudden they're like, actually, now I remember why we were trying to take this boss in the first place. This is not a good situation to be in.
Muradin jumps in, is immediately being attacked. Ancestral healing has to be used in that situation, and then they start to move back. But that's also the moment when 16 hits for Fnatic, which makes things so much worse for them. And the fact alone that Falset was holding back that Mighty Gust, didn't even try to go for the boss steal since they realized that his position was not strong enough, gave them an opportunity to go for the kill here. But now we have another boss about to be taken to the bot lane, and Team Liquid have to be really careful of going in here. All the ults are there. Sanctification, Mighty Gust, boss attacked, 16 is ready. This is a tricky spot now, but Team Liquid, they feel forced into a fight.
Yeah, this is one of these situations where normally I wouldn't suggest this boss, but with how much boss control they have, I don't know if Team Liquid actually can contest this, and they realize it, and they back out, kind of posturing to say, hey guys, we're going to scare you off of this boss, but it doesn't end up working in the long run. The boss will start working on the keep front wall on the bottom half of the map, and they end up giving up tribute, understanding that they can't, if they get this curse, they really can't do anything here. So smart decision to back out. I'd actually like to see Fnatic not cap this. I would like to see them wait it out for a little bit longer here and try and get the team fight here. See if their opponents will make a poor rotation.
Well, we see them at the bot lane right now. They cap it indeed. We have at the top lane, again, they attempt to jump on a few of these heroes. Here comes the Zero, and that's exactly what we've been talking about. Holy ground being used, Lowell isolated. They try to go for the kill. He's barely getting away thanks to the Ancestral from Rega. Great play by Get here. And the boss is still barreling through that gate, but they were able to keep the hero at least alive. And they delayed it.
Yeah, he did delay it as long as he could, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Honestly, at this point, it's going to be questionable whether or not the rotation is going to be done in time of Team Liquid. One thing I did want to cover also as well, not only did the Ancestral keep him alive there, that was a cleanse that actually saved him from the slam, which would 100% would have led to his death there. So really well done on the Rhaegar's part there, keeping his teammates alive. 16 tier going to be picked up for Liquid soon, but again, the spike for Fnatic, even though you are on even footing, your composition isn't necessarily that great. Reigner is not kind of that powerhouse until it gets very, very late into the game.
Yeah, Reigner actually on 13 going for the Relentless Leader here against the potential ETC. Sun is of course moving in there as well. So we have him going on level 1 for the Season Marksman. By the way, at this point on 26 stacks right now for Season Marksman with the extra damage. He's tried to play it a bit more passive on the 13. Did not go for the Giant Killer here against two tanks that don't really have the highest hit point pool. But Executioner now being used. And that is, of course, going to be a pretty cool talent, considering that we have quite a few slows on the side.
I think it's mainly because of the pairing with Totem build. Coming up from the Rhaegar is the intent there. I still don't know if it's going to be what I would consider kind of the best of that situation, but a teamfight's going to be forced out here. Really good Gus. That's what we were talking about. One disengage pop for one engage there. Now you're going to be like, oh, you want to re-engage? Guess what? We're going to have Sanctification in this type of situation. Yeah,
Holy Ground as well, immediately being popped by Ethereal here. He was ready for this. They were waiting for it. And now that Sundering is out of the question, they can't jump in again. They try to go for Chris. Chris already proccing his passive. We have Ethereal with the Sanctification once again. Fnatic with great play here so far, but Team Liquid, they are trying to go for it. They're relentless here. Ethereal jumps away once more. Juve is still on the hunt, and Fnatic is moving away. Team Liquid, they want to fight 16 versus 16, and Fnatic finally moving away, but that allows Liquid to go for the tribute, and they channel it through and curse Fnatic.
If they don't threaten to curse with this, or excuse me, if they don't threaten to keep with this curse, honestly, I don't think they're going to be in a situation where they're going to be able to end this game anytime realistically. But meanwhile, Merton getting stunned out by a little bit. They're going to Dwarf Toss out and be, keep in mind, Reigner is actually terribly zoned out of this team fight. Meanwhile, the curse also kind of bashing in. Oh my goodness, once again, the Dwarf Toss not being off cooldown there is going to lead to his death. But oh man, that is worst case scenario when you end up walking in, getting a curse, and then you still can't win the team fight. And honestly, Liquid, that was the best fight they were going to get. Gus was burnt, Sanct was burnt, and then they were still able to force the fight, and they ended up losing it because of their rotation.
Yeah, and the problem right now is that they can't get anything out of this curse that they currently have. They're sitting there, they can't move in, they're in a 4 vs 5 situation. There's no way that they're going to engage without their main tank, and Fnatic can just like calmly wait it out, make sure that they push back the lanes, go for a couple of camps here even, and just secure that boss at the top, making sure that nobody's going to steal that away. They might even go for it at this point. They have a couple of seconds on Muradin. Might be a bit of a risky play, but they could use it. They're trying to trap instead, and they go once again for Gerd. Gerd has no chance getting out of there, and once again the support is down, and Team Liquid, they move from a 4 vs 5 situation into the next. They start losing heroes here. It's a vicious circle, and that's exactly the downward spiral that you never want to end in within Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, the world of staggered deaths is not a fun one, especially on the competitive aspect here. The boss is going to be secured for Fnatic, and you see the attempt of rotation on the side of Liquid trying to capitalize something. Let's get bottom port. They are, again, trying to min-max, understanding the situation they're in. It's just, honestly, it's one of those where you're like, congratulations, you got a fort. It's not really gaining that much, but at least they're trying. They're doing everything within their power here, and it's not totally out of their grasp quite yet. 22 is going to be picked up. The boss will be threatening the upper half of the map, and he did just hit his big spike hit there. That's going to be at the 16 mark, so it keeps going down. I don't think this is going to be lethal quite yet, unless they... Oh, actually, Sanctification is a very good core tool. This might be something they look to do. Zone with the mosh pit and dive with Sanct.
Are they brave enough without the 20 though? They have half a level, but they could really try and just like poke a bit, maybe with the next wave.
Won't be enough for 20.
If they get another kill,
Hyperion's already burnt though. This is huge. And this is huge.
They start to go in here once again. Hyperion is actually not really doing anything anymore, and they can start to jump in. They have everything up. They could go for a good mosh if they get the chance.
Goes down.
With the Sanctification, they're waiting for it. The boss is already on the core. Juve is trying to zone. At the same time, Breeze is looking for an opportunity. He goes in, he gets 2 of them, and they immediately make sure that they are pushing everybody away. They're trying to go for the kill. Reina is already down. Falls that his palm gets away, trying to secure him. The 20 is ready as well. They're going for heroic heroics. The boss is still alive, and down goes the core 80%. And now Fnatic is really going in for the kill. Quacknix is jumping on the core. Down goes Falstad, but they are going to get it 20%. And Fnatic, they are trying to end, and they will completely drop the core and take the game, take the map, take Cursed Hollow, and get the 1-0 lead against Team Liquid.
That was actually really well done, identifying the Hyperion use there as a tool to actually get the engage. You saw them posturing, looking for that one misplay on their opponent's side there. Team Liquid, the minute the Hyperion goes, they were like, guys, that was not very good decision making. We're going to be able to capitalize on this best they can. And they had the tools. I don't feel like they used them necessarily properly. They stacked Gust, Sanct, and Mosh, which is all their best tools when diving on the core. But at the same time, when you have a boss there and they have very little kill potential onto you, it doesn't really matter.
The longer you delay, the more damage the boss is going to do. And if you just get one kill or two, you can spiral from there. And that's exactly what they did. Fnatic with absolute beautiful play. And that was really well done. And secures, of course, now the lead in the series for them. And especially, again, coming back to that Tyrael pick.
Yeah, it was huge.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it's hero.
I would say without a doubt that Tyrael pick was the most impressive draft play the entire day today.
I totally agree with that, absolutely.
I think not only was it impressive in the sense that it was kind of innovative and you're like, wow, that's not necessarily one of our standard heroes, if you will, but at the same time, it was just brilliant on kind of all fronts. There was like, it was a absolutely phenomenal pick.
It eliminated the Jaina more or less. It was great against that melee heavy composition, a great play here. And well, I can't wait to actually hear what James and analysis have to say about game number 1 between Fnatic and Team Liquid.